All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Black history and just highlighting a few figures that have been successful, over years. Because when we tend to think about Black history, we think about, our oppression that like our ancestors went through. And so I just wanted to like highlight like all the success that we've had so far. And I also want to share like how you can be supportive of your Black friends that may start a business, and also just like how to support your friends in general for things like that. So we're going to dive into some social media strategy as well. You're listening to the Warrior Rulebook podcast with me, Monique Harmon. I'm a God-fearing, bright fashion blogger, also known as Pretty Nikki, where I share tips on how to activate that part of you that sets your soul on fire to fight whatever life throws at you. Come on, share your story with me. Figuring out what to eat for dinner shouldn't be hard. We all have busy schedules with very little time during the week. That's why I love Perfect Blend's gourmet sauces. They're all natural, gluten-free, taste great, and make cooking so easy. You can purchase their Perfect Blends kitchen ebook complete with 10 delicious recipes that you can make in 30 minutes or less. Get it now at myperfectblends.com. Again, that's myperfectblends.com. So some figures that I would like to talk about in particular is Langston Hughes. I actually did grow up reading his poetry and just like, enjoying like what he wrote. I can't actually remember any of the poetry that he did write, but I do know at the time that I was, really interested in it. And I really, liked learning about someone else other than like Rosa Parks or like Martin Luther King Jr. Also, Madam C.J. Walker, I actually learned about her last year, and how she started her hair care business and just like empowering Black women to like, really just like have nice hairstyles and stuff like that, and had hair products and like just really grew her business and like created jobs for like so many people. And I thought that that was really interesting and really cool. And then like a few years before that, I was actually seeing the movie Hidden Figures. That was starring Taraji P. Henson. She is one of my favorite actresses of all time, and she played Katherine Johnson, along with a couple of other people, Octavia Spencer, and the other person, Janelle. I think I forgot her name, but yeah, Janelle. They all played these mathematicians, and they were all women that basically helped NASA like get off the ground and just really advance. And so, people don't really talk about them. And so that's why the movie was called Hidden Figures. And like, I was just so inspired. I remember coming home from the movie theater and just being like so inspired by them and just being like, wow, I can do anything that I set my mind to. Like, it's different like if people around you tell you that, but like if you can see other people that have done it in the past when like they were going through different obstacles and stuff like that, and just being able to see that they still made it, just really empowering feeling to feel that. So I was really happy to see that. Who else? Also, Maddie Moss Clark. So I learned about her last year as well too, and she is basically responsible for bringing her daughters together in what we now know as the Clark sisters. They had a whole movie based on their lives, which is really interesting to see how they were still able to, use what they learned during the time and use their struggles and stuff just to, basically express themselves artistically. So I thought that that was very cool. Greetings, Brother Daniel. Thank you for joining. So it was just really inspiring to see those people as well, and just like hear them. They have lovely voices, and like they're just continuing their legacy through their children. Kiara Sheard is like an amazing singer, and of course, because like her whole family can sing pretty much, so it's just really inspiring to see them. And the last historical figure I want to talk about is Diane Carroll. I don't know if we have any Dynasty fans in the house, but that was a 1980s soap opera, and she basically played like a rich rival to a white family that they were obviously rich in Colorado, and like the husband had owned like oil and stuff like that, so he was really rich. But it was just nice to see like a Black woman in power, even though she was like a rival and she was kind of evil and stuff like that. But it was just interesting just to see that, and like she just do it with such elegance and such grace and things like that. And so some people that inspire me now, like I said, Taraji P. Henson, she plays in like so many roles, so many movies, like, where she just kind of has to overcome obstacles, and just being marginalized, which is like the story of a lot of Black people in America, Black people in the world. And so it's just really inspiring just to see her take on those roles and become victorious in the end and getting what she wanted and stuff like that. And obviously she played in Hidden Figures, and that was a situation in where that happened. So it was just nice to just see her like develop through each movie. Also, I love Kira Sheard, just how like she promotes her events and stuff on social media. So like me as a social media marketer, I really, really enjoy just like, seeing like celebrities that are really invested in their audience, and they're not just like throwing something up. They actually know how the features work on social media, and they utilize the live feature correctly, and they just really connect with their audience members. Like that is just very enlightening and wonderful to see, because it actually gives me ideas on how I can create my content, how I can stay resilient, and also just promote the things that I care about as well. A lot of people don't do that. Like when they go into business or they have a business passion, they're kind of like nervous to like really just talk about themselves, because I guess maybe they think that they're going to sound like conceited or crazy or something like that. But it's not that at all. If people don't understand like what you're doing, or they just don't know what you're doing, like they're not going to support you. They're not going to really know how to support you, because they don't even know if you're offering something. So it's just really important to, always like promote yourself and the things that, you're doing, and also support others, like share their content, and things like that as well. Let's see who else. Obviously I do enjoy like the Clark sisters, like that is also her family, as well as Kerry Washington. She is played in a lot of good movies. Like basically I think she did play in American Son on Netflix, where she was waiting for her son to come home, and she had like a bad marriage with her husband, even though she was in love with him, but they had like a lot of marriage problems, and he was white, and he didn't really understand like her struggles or anything like that. So he would say certain things, and it would clearly show that like he didn't really understand like what it was that she was going through, what her son was going through, because obviously her son looked more like Black, and so like, and he had cornrows, and he dressed a particular way like in the hood, even though he was in like a rich family, because he kind of had like an identity crisis, like as whereas like he didn't really know who he wanted to be, and the movie ended very tragically. But just like Kerry Washington's like portrayal as like the Black mom was just like, it was phenomenal. Like it was like, she was obviously highly educated, which is what not a stereotype, but actually the opposite. A lot of people think that Black moms are crazy, or they're like always angry, or they're always like yelling, stuff like that. But you actually see through the movie like why she was angry, why she was in distress, why her heart was like torn in different directions and stuff like that. And I really would recommend, seeing that movie on Netflix as well. So I'm going to highlight this comment. Daniel Wilson says, I watched Hidden Figures. It was a wonderful movie. Learned a lot about NASA and what Black people have done in the shadows. Yep, definitely. Definitely. Like I did not, know like, a lot of Black historical figures or anything like that, other than like the people that they taught us in school, like, the same 2 to 3 people. I didn't even learn about Malcolm X until like I actually became friends with some of my friends. Like they're really passionate about Malcolm X. So I learned about him through them. So I just, really love our culture right now, is how we can like get access to like so many stories of like, our heritage, stories of our ancestors, and just like really see like what they went through, but also what they were able to create. Like some Black people were like, responsible for, making the light switch and doing like different things like that. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I don't really know the specifics, but I do know like everyday items, like they had something to do with it. So I just think that that is really inspiring. So what does that mean for us today? So when it comes to supporting Black owned businesses, I don't think that, you should just be tagging them on Instagram when someone puts up a post like, hey, tag all our Black owned businesses. Like we need to do more than that. Like that's wonderful to get, temporary exposure. for those Black owned businesses, but we need to do more. It's a mindset shift that a lot of people have to go through. Like, there are some people on the earth that think that, just because like coaches are white, that a lot of them are, that like they're more qualified than a Black coach. I'm a financial coach and I'm a social media coach, but I still have to, hold myself to a particular caliber to demonstrate my expertise on a daily basis. And versus like, somebody, my white counterparts, that they may just have to post pretty photos or something like that, and people immediately go to them. So it's definitely like a mindset shift that a lot of people have to get over in order to just, diversify who you're going to services for, who you're buying products from. Like, we're Black, a lot of us went to school, a lot of us, took the necessary training and got the necessary certifications in order to do what we do. And so, it's really disrespectful when you hear certain things like, oh, you still doing that insurance thing? Or, oh, like, you got your little business. It's not a little business. We're building it up. So it's like, if we don't even talk about our businesses in that sense, why would somebody else that has zero experience in that area and may need help with that area, why would they just downplay people? You really want to diversify like who you're talking to and who you're going to for services and who you're going to for products. Another thing is, sometimes like just because like you might have certain family members or certain friends that may be going into business for themselves, share them more than once, because like people obviously need to see something 7 times or even more for that to stick in their head, for that marketing, and like for them to understand what it is that your friends or your family members do. They need to see it more than once. So don't be afraid to, share their posts and share their content. Now, obviously, you can talk to your family and talk to your friends and see what they have done to qualify themselves in order to be whatever it is that they're trying to be. And if they have the certifications, why not shout them out? If they have great customer service skills, why not support them? Why go to somebody else that you barely know just because they've been in business longer versus your friend that knows what they're doing and they might have been in business for a smaller time? So I just want people to think about that as well when it comes to supporting Black owned businesses. Definitely support your friends, give them a testimonial, try out their products, try out their services. I want to give a shout out to Mod Curls, Tasia, because she, made her online shop. She now does e-commerce, and like, it's just really like inspiring just to see like she has her whole shop up. I bought so many products. Tasia, if you're listening to this, you're making me broke. Thanks. Obviously, I'm going broke also by Perfect Blends. We're going to give them a shout out as well. They have wonderful gourmet sauces. Peculiar Eats. They do a lot of good catering with seafood and stuff like that. Their cookies are amazing. I can just link to them as well. Also, I want to shout out IP Graphic Designs as well. He does really good graphics for my company, for social media. Basically, whatever I need. He even helps with video editing because I don't really have time to do it anymore. So I just want to give him a shout out as well. Thank you so much for what you do for my company and others as well. If you know any Black owned businesses that you support, just drop them in the comment section and I will try to add or link to them as well. But another thing, you can support Black owned businesses by saving their posts on Instagram. So like Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, pretty much all of the platforms, TikTok, they have a feature where you can save things to your favorites or you can save posts in general. This is a lot better than liking posts because these platforms don't really favor liking anymore. Even though likes look nice to us, they look good to us, what really helps these businesses like get their content out to everyone is if you save the post. And so I can actually try to show you guys. I don't know if my camera will be able to pick up on it, but I'm going to try to show you how to save a post. So right here on the right side of the screen is the save feature. So you want to make sure that you click on it. It's going to be really hard to click it like that. But and if you just save it like that, you can actually save it in a different category. So you can like hold it down. Let me show you again. So if you hold down the save button, you can actually make little categories for like things for travel, good post ideas, home ideas. I have things for healthy eating as well. So that way you can come back to those posts later for inspiration, or if you want to create content yourself, or just a recipe that you want to save. You definitely want to utilize that feature as much as possible. So I will say again, make sure you save posts, because that really helps business owners. That helps your friends whenever they want to post like a really nice picture, or if they want to just post about things that they're passionate about. Just make sure that you're actually saving posts as well. Give your friends and family testimonials, or other Black owned businesses that and bring them up in conversation. Invest in Black coaches. If you're having an event where you can have like guest speakers, see if you can invite, if you're white, see if you can invite some Black coaches. Also, maybe some other coaches that may have expressed their interest, some Indian ones. And this isn't to say like to do this just to be like, oh, I checked off a box, I'm being diverse. No, you actually want to be authentic in communicating with people and meeting different races, because when you actually have a collaborative effort from like different ethnicities, you actually learn things about their culture, you learn things about their way of life, and you actually just form really wonderful relationships. Like, people want to see themselves when they're buying your stuff. So I actually heard about this other conversation as well, where some Black customers were like, yeah, I don't want to spend my money at that business because I don't see myself there. I don't feel like I can actually benefit from that service. And if you're a business owner, you don't want that to happen. Like, you want to be able to appeal to everybody, no matter what race they are. But when I say appeal to everybody, I'm talking about every ethnicity if possible, but you're still solving a particular problem. So you don't want everybody, but you would, if you can, be able to serve and be able to help as many ethnicities as possible. So those are just some things that I were on my mind for Black History Month. And also, I just want to say as well that I'm offering one-on-one coaching if you would like to up-level your social media marketing, so you can grow your business. And so I will definitely link to that after this live video. But thank you for joining today, and see you in another video. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Warrior Rulebook podcast. If you like what you heard, share it with a friend and join me over at the Warrior Rulebook Podcast Insider group on Facebook. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more tips on how to be resilient in this world.